This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. I thought this article was pretty hilarious in the Washington Post this morning as they're addressing the Rothschilds, Satan, and anti-Semitic conspiracy theories all in one article. Now, for those of you who aren't aware of the Rothschilds, if you're someone who's new to the channel or you don't pay attention, and I don't know why if you're listening to this channel and you don't know who the Rothschild family is, I don't know why you're listening. But the Rothschild family is the top of the pyramid family. The Rothschilds deal directly with Satan. They are responsible for the Federal Reserve. They are responsible for the things that go on in Bagelville, as they own the majority of that land. But they had to do a spin article here. They had to throw something out because apparently somebody in Congress, a DC council member by the name of Trayon White Sr., had said something in regards to the Rothschilds and weaponized weather. That's right. Now you're seeing weaponized weather all across the East Coast this winter. I mean, snowstorm out. They're hitting them with tons of blizzards. Tons of blizzards. Blizzard after blizzard. We saw weaponized weather used in Florida and Texas. Repetition, constantly just sending the same storms there. For those who don't believe in weaponized weather, this has been going on for a while. This has been admitted out of the mouth of John F. Kennedy. This has been admitted by Disney. You might say, why Disney? Well, Disney even has that video that I've uploaded showing how they're going to be able to control weather to help steer storms away. But in reality, what they do is they help steer storms towards people because they love chaos and destruction. They make money out of this. They also get their sacrifices out of it. They also get their chaos out of it. They also get people in FEMA camps out of it. So it always works to their favor. Now, before I read this article, I want to say this in no way is hate speech. I am reading an article from the Washington Post and giving my opinion on it. It says in early 2011, a branch of the very rich Rothschild family bought a controlling stake in Weather Central, a provider of weather forecasts to hundreds of broadcasters. Quote, as weather becomes more extreme around the planet with greater human and financial ramifications, Sir Evelyn de Rothschild said in a news release, we believe that Weather Central will play a major role in mitigating damage and improving lives. This was big news in meteorology and broadcasting circles. It appeared the Rothschilds, a prominent business family, they're a little bit more than a prominent business family. How about the family who runs and controls money and prints it? The Rothschilds wanted to take on the Weather Channel to expand its media holdings. This was also big news for conspiracy theorists, right? So here they are deflecting again. To them, it appeared the Rothschilds, a prominent Jewish family who made a fortune in European banking in the 1700s, wanted to control the weather and profit from natural disasters. The Rothschilds' supposed control of the weather, a charge peddled last week by DC Council member Trayon White Sr., before he apologized for offending anyone, is just one of dozens, perhaps hundreds of unproven, bizarre, and anti-Semitic allegations that have been leveled against the Rothschilds for centuries. Oh, the poor Rothschilds. I feel, boy, oh, the poor family. They're swimming in cash over there, printing it, poisoning us day and night. And they have to write deflection articles in the Washington Post. How pathetic. The list of their supposed atrocities spread by militant pastors, fringe political candidates, and garden variety nut jobs, I guess that's us, right? The garden variety nut job, include controlling the world economy, bankrolling Hitler, plotting to kill Presidents Abraham Lincoln and JFK, funding Israel, funding the Islamic State, inflicting financial distress on Asians, and most recently messing with the weather. Is that what their Wikipedia definition? Because it sounds pretty accurate to me. Quote, man, it just started snowing out of nowhere this morning, man. Y'all better pay attention to this climate control, man. The climate manipulation, White said in a video posted to Facebook. And DC keep talking about we a resilient city, and that's a model based off the Rothschilds controlling the climate to create natural disasters they can pay for to own the cities, man. Be careful. It wasn't the first time White repeated anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. I mean, what in there is anti-Semitic? First of all, what is anti-Semitic in there? Let's reread that quote. I mean, how are they? You see how when people are on to something, they don't even tag it with the right way to deflect it? This guy's talking about weather control and the Rothschilds. He says nothing in there that's anti-Semitic. But because the Rothschilds happen to be Jewish, it makes this person anti-Semitic because he's questioning the weather control and the Rothschilds. I mean, are you kidding me? That's like saying if a Jewish person was convicted of murder, or was on trial for murder, and you call the person a murderer, they would come after you and say, well, you're being anti-Semitic. Like, what are you talking about? He said, man, it just started snowing out of nowhere this morning. Man, y'all better pay attention to climate control and climate manipulation. We're a resilient city, and that's a model based off the Rothschilds controlling the climate to create natural disasters they can pay for to own the cities. Be careful. Nothing in there anti-Semitic, but of course they're using anti-Semitism. Why not, right? It says it wasn't the first time White repeated anti-Semitic conspiracy theories about the Rothschilds during a February 27th meeting with Mayor Manuel E. Bowser, like Bowser from Mario, I guess, and other city officials. White was captured on video claiming that the family controls the World Bank and the federal government. Well, they do. I mean, don't take a rocket scientist to figure out who's behind the Federal Reserve. God, I mean, is the Washington Post kidding us here? I think we're that stupid. It said, when did the craziness about the Rothschilds begin? A long time ago. Why? The Battle of Waterloo. This is where they start tying in Satan now. In 1846, 3 decades after Napoleon's French army had been vanquished in what is now Belgium by a British and Dutch force, a political pamphlet signed Satan went 19th century viral. The Independent, a London newspaper, recounted the story of the pamphlet a few years ago under the headline, The Rothschild Libel. Here's a story that Satan told. Nathan Rothschild, the founder of the London branch of the bank, was a spectator on the battlefield that day in June 1815, and as night fell, he observed the total defeat of the French army. This was what he was waiting for. A relay of fast horses rushed him to the Belgian coast, but there he found, to his fury, that a storm had confined all ships to port. Undaunted, does greed admit anything is impossible? Asked Satan. He paid a king's ransom to a fisherman to ferry him through wind and waves to England. Reaching London 24 hours before official word of Wellington's victory, Rothschild exploited his knowledge to make a killing on the stock exchange in a single coup. The pamphlet charged he gained 20 million francs. And the rest is anti-Semitic history, according to the Washington Post. It says, although this type of speculation was widespread throughout anti-Semitic circles in the late 19th and 20th centuries, it was notably strong in the U.S., where radicals of every stripe seemed obsessed by financial conspiracies. Political scientist Michael Barkin wrote in his book, A Culture of Conspiracy, published in 2003. The Rothschilds, who combined Jewishness, banking, and international ties, presented an attractive target. Are they kidding me with this? I mean, is this... Oh my, I feel like I'm on The Onion. They still do, just not via pamphlet. The conspiracy theories about the Rothschilds and other groups, Jewish or not, are spread in online forums, self-published books, right-wing and religious radio programs, and especially YouTube, where seemingly normal and harmless people spin complicated, illogical theories that viewers seeking to confirm their own views can easily find. It's not my fault, Washington Post, that more people listen to this channel and other channels that you would deem conspiracy theorists than read your awful crap that gets pushed down everyone's throat. It's pretty amazing that, a lot of us on YouTube, we're not promoted, we're not in the mainstream. We get more views on a daily basis than some shows on television that they force down your throat. Nobody wants to read the Washington Post. Nobody wants to read the New York Post. People would rather listen to people like me because we all know what's going on. And the people who don't have channels, who are in the comment section, they know more than the Washington Post knows. They're smarter than these writers. These writers are absolute buffoons. We probably are more educated even in the fake matrix than these people are. It's unbelievable. I mean, these people are just so desperate for attention. It says, take a YouTuber identified as HUD, I don't know who this person is, who has nearly 5,000 subscribers. In September 2017, a month after Harvey laid waste to Houston, the guy posted a lengthy video in which she explained how it all came back to the Rothschilds. She said, I'm not an engineer, but I have common sense. Her common sense goes like this. Strange things have been happening on the planet. For instance, whales have been jumping out of the ocean. Why? Because she claimed of electric waves being sent out from Alaska by a U.S. government project to manipulate weather patterns. Her uncle, who served in the U.S. Air Force, told her all about it. I mean, this is what they have to do, right? They take some YouTuber of 5,000 subscribers, And then the person might have some other things that you take it out of context about electric waves being sent out from Alaska. They're not even mentioning HARP, which is clearly what she's talking about, right? Take it out of context, and the casual reader reads this stuff, and that's how they continue to think we're all crazy people, because the tone of the loser who wrote this article. Electric waves being sent out from Alaska. Yeah, it's called HARP. They've even admitted to weather manipulation, you morons. I mean, they admit to it, for crying out loud. JFK has talked about it. Don't want to quote the president, right? The former president. You don't want to quote him. How about Disney talking about it? Don't want to reference that. I mean, these people are just totally sad and pathetic. They are so scared right now because so many people are seeing through their bull. The article says, anyway, the Rothschilds, she said, had friends in high places. They bought the weather company, after all, so they know the people in the government making the whales jump out of the ocean, which is very bad. So they are behind the hurricane. Why is she convinced? For one thing, she did research on YouTube, not Google, which apparently can't be trusted. YouTube has more information, she said. Google is discreet. Besides that, she prayed on it. So here we go, right? Making fun of people who are followers of Christ. She said she prayed on it. And what came to her as a vision was a funny-looking ogre who had a comedic sense and was very surreal. So you see how they pick these things? You ever notice, this channel has never been referenced in any of these articles by anyone. Post, Times, InfoWars, it doesn't matter if they're alt-right, alt-left, whatever. I have never been mentioned, because you know why? I'll go on and debate any one of these fools, and I'll destroy them. I'll make them look like buffoons, because I could just see what they're doing and call them out on it, and how they're taking things that are so far-fetched, and then they're using humor to deflect to make the audience, laugh about it instead of taking it seriously and talking about real things such as HARP that exist. But none of these people will ever mention me or debate me, so instead they'll just shut my channel down, make me rebuild another one. Now I've got to strike on this one. They'll probably shut this one down and make me rebuild, because that's their goal. Well, he can keep rebuilding and keep coming back, That's why I tell people to subscribe to the Fire Rises channel. Nobody goes. I mean, I've got only 30-something thousand compared to 130-something over here. 100,000 less. Because they're going to keep doing this to me. But they'll bring up somebody who has something that they can go, well, we could bully this person, we could ridicule them, make them sound like a buffoon, and this person with 5,000 subscribers, whoever this woman is, she probably couldn't go to the Washington Post and have a debate with them or argue with them. Right? She's talking about funny-looking ogres and visions and dreams, and they prey off of that stuff. They love it because they can take it and make us all look like buffoons. Meanwhile, the Rothschilds do control the banking system. The Rothschilds do own all the land over in Bagelville. Okay? They own the land there. It's theirs. They own it, literally. They own the land. It's their land. And people go, well, it's God's land. Okay? But they own the actual land that people are there on. They own it. It was given to them in a treaty. It says, besides the fact that she prayed on it, she said, people wrote on the comment section, a commentator wrote, are a beautiful soul, to the woman who said this. Another wrote that your observations are very insightful. I've learned so much from them. Just one quibble, however. The Rothschilds, the commentator wrote, are merely the treasurer for the Vatican. And the article ends there. So mocking all this stuff, right? Even the Vatican connection, trying to say, oh, look how insane. Now we're talking about the Vatican. We're talking about electrical current waves sent out in the ocean from Alaska. This is what these losers do. They can't have a debate. They can't address this stuff as if it's real. So they try to be funny when they're not funny, which is another pet peeve of mine. I cannot stand people who think they're funny and are not. Like these writers. I'm so funny. Michael S. Rosenwald wrote the article. Well, that last name makes you raise your eyebrow. Rosenwald. I mean, figures. But Michael S. Rosenwald wouldn't have a pair to come on my channel. Michael S. Rosenwald, come on my channel. Anytime, any place. I'll do a live stream on the Fire Rises, right? And let's see how smart and educated you are over at the Washington Post. I'm sure you go out to the bars every weekend and you show everyone your credentials. Hey, work at the Washington Post. Yeah, well, guess what? More people out there take me seriously than you. Because your articles are nothing but, you guys are so far behind. So far behind. You might as well do another course at Bohemian Grove and teach your editors and your writers that everyone's aware of the Rothschilds. So why don't you just stop even trying to deflect on that and just accept it and say, well, they do run the Federal Reserve. Well, they do own the land there because everybody knows it. Okay? And you're not going to, the dumbed down people out there who don't care, if they stumble upon channels like mine, they're going to learn this stuff and they're going to care because they're going to realize that they're enslaved to people such as the Rothschilds. And then there's gatekeepers like the people at the Washington Post who want to keep everybody sucked into this matrix. The article's a joke, a complete joke. The writer's a complete disgrace and an embarrassment. He should be working on writing his resignation right now. That might be the best thing he could ever write. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.